Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever?
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories, for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is a continuation of our game of Fiasco, using the touring rock band playset by Jason Morningstar. Your humble players, myself, John Holt, with me,
Ken Breeze. Hey, everybody. What's going on, Board to Ghosts? Great to be back.
and great to have our guest back as well,
Lauren Belanco from 20-Sided Store. Hey, everyone.
Ken.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us who your character was and what's happened to you so
I
far?
will.
And we'll use that to kind of get
Perfect.
everyone up to speed.
I'm playing Johnny Shakes McTavish, who is a 25-year-old roadie for the band Supernova. Supernova has been on tour for the beginning of the summer, and Shakes, as he goes, really wants to sleep with the lead singer, and so he needs to get fucked, is his sort of goal in life right now. Also, he has a good roadie buddy who's with him, who's John's character, who I'll let John tell you all about.
Yeah, so I am playing Crater Jim. He is a 46-year-old grizzled tour veteran who used to tour with all kinds of bands. I guess he's been doing it for almost 30 years now, since he was maybe 16, 17, and just kind of touring with bands on the road. That's his life and his lifestyle. And he so far has almost run afoul of Cindy, the lead singer of Supernova, the band that they are roadieing for, and he is working under Styx, who he seems to have a certain fascination with.
And I'm playing Styx, former drummer for the Fang Bangers, a goth band, now drum tech and lead tech for Supernova. And we are preparing for a sort of the big weekend show in this week-long festival at the Blue Well in some unknown big city near, well, we're from Styx and Crater Jim and maybe Johnny Shakes, maybe not, are from Detroit. So we're on tour. Maybe we're like probably on the West Coast or something. I feel like the Blue Well seems like a good, like,
Blue Well Arena.
yeah,
Northern California.
yeah,
Kinda.
Northern California type of venue for this 7-day festival. It's Saturday night. We just did sound check. Things have been going pretty well. And so for all of you who are familiar with Fiasco, that can only mean things are going to go very terrible very soon.
Since our last game, we've added a couple tilts. We have
That's right.
failure, a good plan comes unraveled, and mayhem, magnificent self-destruction.
Last we left our story, we're at soundcheck. Things were going pretty well all around. We open up with the show in media res. Supernova is playing a kick-ass arena set. Lots of people are in the crowd and in the stands, and there started to be a fairly energetic mosh pit growing up in the front of the show, in the stage. And that's where our camera is sort of bird's eye viewing the entire sort of concert venue, the entire arena, and it's just going closer and closer with more detail, sort of over the stage, over the crowd, and it's zeroing in on a pair of bodies sort of thrashing in the mosh pit. It turns out to be Crater Jim and Shakes, who have apparently left their duties for the night and are enjoying the show, now together in the mosh pit. That they have some, I guess they don't have any beers. I think that they probably have their own hip flasks and stuff like that they've been able to sneak in. But at this point, they have sort of turned into like a two-headed beast where they have locked sort of arms around each other's shoulders. And with the arms that are out, they're just windmilling, like pinwheeling, as they're sort of rushing around the mosh pit, punching and throwing themselves into people. We sort of resolve the camera angle, if you will, as it sort of swoops down as they both sort of stumble out of the mosh pit and are just sort of on the edges of it. Oh man, that's the best. This is the best stuff. I love this song, Crater.
Yeah, it's all right. It's got a good beat to it. I could do without some of the melodies after the bridge, but listen, we should get back, especially if you're running Mike. Like, this was a great distraction, but really, we've got about a minute and a half before this track wraps, and you're going to have to go and swap that mic. She's going to go into one of her ballads, and she's going to need one of the condensers for that. Or maybe,
Condenser. I got it, man. My lady needs me. I will be there.
And remember, turn off the, do not turn on the shadow power until after you've taken that ribbon that she's got off. There, right there, or else you will destroy that mic. Very important.
Condenser, ribbon, shadow power. Got it.
All right.
Here we go. Come on, buddy. Hustle, hustle. Yeah. We're backstage. Yeah, backstage. Showing people my badge. Yeah. It's me. No, it's me, Shakes.
It's him, Shakes. Let's go. Come on. We need to get back on stage. We have a lot of work to do.
Come on, man. And so, how does the scene resolve for me, Lauren?
Let's go.
Really?
Well.
Okay, it resolves positively for me.
Can I propose something?
Yes, please.
All right.
I'd love your proposal.
So we're getting back on stage.
Yeah.
And a fan, like the mosh pit gets really unruly.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like a wave kind of like crashes onto stage.
Uh-huh.
And like a shirtless guy and another guy like get up and pull the mic and Cindy, who's holding the mic, like into the throng.
Yeah.
And without even thinking, you dive.
I dive right in. Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like explode up like bodyguard style, holding Cindy
And
like step over the people, like to get her back on stage. Your hair's like your hair's like just beautiful blowing because there's fans on stage, for the thing, and they're just like
our hair's blowing together. It's intertwining.
Nice.
And she's just looking at you like the sequins are sparkling in her
Love
eyes.
it. I love it. Exactly.
Does that sound good?
Sounds perfect. That's exactly what's happening.
All right.
Nice.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Yeah. You set up that mic, and then you see that the other mic is dragged away.
And I even set up the mic for the next ballad before diving in. I'm that good.
Yeah.
Without even looking.
Exactly, without even looking.
Totally. Well, I mean, you might have had a little help from Crater Jim from behind the stage.
He gave me verbal cues. You know
what I said about shadow power.
I took the ribbon off before activating shadow power. The condenser is set. Where do we go next?
What's going on with old Jim? So he's watching this happen.
Yes.
This go down.
Yes.
And he like it sparks something. Like there's a flash in his eye, and he's taken.
You're
back.
mesmerized by the wind
Jim,
blowing.
Jim wants some.
And like seeing your face and seeing like her face, it's like it goes way back where this is like where it's daytime on an open air stage, and Jim is there in brown leather jacket with fringe. He's tightening the mic for this woman with like long flowing black hair. Like pale skin and like dark eyeshadow, and she's in like a sundress with like tall boots, and she's like it's not an acoustic set, it's still like rocking. And she he like finishes tightening the thing, and she winks at him, and he blushes, and he steps off stage. There's a singer for another band that he's roadieing as well. It's sort of like a small tour, and she's there, and she starts kind of ribbing him about it. And
why? What? She's never gonna like you. She gives that look to all the guys.
Listen, it's been a nice long time on the road. She's real nice to me.
Listen, Jimmy, you gotta come with me on the road.
Listen, Diana, you're real nice, but
Jim,
and you show me a real good time, but I don't know. There's just something about her. I mean, she doesn't give the other roadies the time of day.
Jim, you're just a sweet packet of sugar to her.
She's
gonna consume you and then spit you out, shit you out with the morning coffee.
And what are you doing with me?
I like to keep a little sugar in my bowl.
I don't know.
It goes so bad for you.
She kind of keeps him under her thumb. Diana does.
Yeah.
Is like basically she's his old lady.
Yep.
In this like on the crux on the length of this tour.
Right.
She's up one night, pretty like he comes in sheepish and shrugging, and she's way drunk on the couch, and like, where have you been?
Oh yeah.
Is that black hair on your
in your fringe?
In your fringe. And he's
like, black hair intertwined in your fringe.
Oh, Diana, come on. And that's when she's like,
throws a vase.
I'm pregnant, she says.
Nice.
And his like face falls.
Sticks.
Sticks.
Yeah, Sticks. So stage is going wild, out of control. She sees Shakes kind of get it together. She sees Crater Jim kind of like blank out and like kind of zone out for a second. She's like, Jim, snap to it.
Oh, hey, sorry, Sticks, sorry. All right.
Are we ready for the big finale?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me. He runs out with like 2 guitars that are tuned right for the thing. Like, he's like swaps like 6 instruments and is back in like 5 seconds. All right. Oh, what's going on? Sorry about that. Sorry, I was.
No, it's good. But so they've. Here's the suit right here. We need to get Cindy in it. Like, as much as I would love Shakes to handle this one, I think he would just like go bananas if he saw her naked. So I need you to get her like in the suit. Don't forget to put the 2 heads on it. You know, she's very specific that this is going to be a 3 dragon head thing, not just the 1 dragon head. It's not all dragon scales. So we need to make sure that the pyrotechs have it so the flame is going to go out of the 3.
All right. Well, has this been safety rated? I'm not seeing that this doesn't look regulation to me. What happened?
I mean,
to
don't
the
worry, we're
burn
not going to
suit
have.
that we were going to use.
Well, it's underneath all of this decoration.
Okay, all right, and it's been attached underneath the suit. Is that what I've been? Is that what you're telling me here?
Yeah.
All right, okay, all right. All right.
I mean, I know you're worried that that this is going to be another situation like what happened to me, but don't worry about that.
Maybe again, I'm not to be a prude, but do you think it would be more appropriate for you to dress the woman in her wardrobe to make this change? I know, rock stars can do what they wish, but maybe, what do you think? I mean, you sure you don't want to just deal with this?
Maybe you're right. All right. You know what? You're right. Fine. Yeah, I got this. Can you just like look over the suit and make sure that, it's all there? I mean, you've done this before. I've never dealt with the pyrotechnics of a suit before. I need you on this.
Look, you just make sure you have both layers on there. It's fine. What I need to go through and check the stacks and make sure that that all the pipes are pointing in the right direction for on the stage. I have checked because we are down. I'm not going to tell you your job.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. 4, 3, 2. Okay, that's a wrap. Shakes. I need Cindy now.
There you go.
She's
like, over here, doll.
Yeah. She's like messaging you to like kind of escort her backstage.
Come on. It's dragon time.
So Cindy shows up and I've got this like crazy, like she's got some sort of underlayer already on, I guess. And
yep.
We got to get her to like kind of strip it out and put this new layer on. Or you could play Cindy and you can play Shakes.
So you're taking her back to a
no, we don't
dressing room?
even. No, we don't have time for the
like
room. This is happening like
paper,
like
folding
backstage.
paper mats up, basically. These like steps. No, not even.
No, not
in
even.
In the full view of everyone.
Well, yeah, it's like just like
behind a big box.
That's
like
some Marshall stacks.
Yeah, exactly. Just like off stage a little bit, kind of behind the curtains.
I meant full view of the crew.
The crew's got full view.
Man, we have them riled up tonight. I cannot even tell you how good it is going. This is probably the best night of the tour so far. I say that almost every night because we are so fucking good.
You're great. You're wonderful.
You know what? Yeah, you have a great crew.
Thanks.
Supernova rules.
Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, I mean, Shakes is great, and she can tell that you just like keep eyeing him. Cindy keeps eyeing Shakes like just won't even pay attention. I'm like, okay, arm here, okay, great. Leg, arm,
and
right.
she's like leaning on him and kind of like like for balance, even if she doesn't.
And he's just like whipping his hair back a bit and like straightening his silver rings that are on his fingers, like skulls of like birds and like different sort of upside down crosses and pentagrams and stuff. He's just sort of fixing his rings.
Even though Jim told you that you could get those caught on something, it's very dangerous for a roadie to have
to actually wear rings.
Accessories.
Exactly. It's all about the rock life, man.
Sticks gets Cindy kind of all
Listen,
decked
just
out.
hurry. We just need to hurry here.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get this done. And she kind of like
This goes
does it
so
all.
bad.
She gets like the clasps kind of together, and she's like, okay, get out there, go. Sends Cindy back on stage, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh fuck.
There's like another suit in a pile.
The full body burn suit.
I was the other layer, the bottom layer So she looks over and she sees Shakes like going up and like attaching the
fuel
gas
pipe
line,
or
the
whatever.
fuel pipe,
Yeah, the fuel pipe. Yeah.
to the outfit. And Styx is like running over and like grabbing the burn suit and like going over to stage. And Cindy's like already begun singing, and she's just like,
At the song, it's gonna be a hot night.
It's gonna be a
The roar of the crowd drowns out your yelling.
No! My scene starts with Shakes on the side of the stage watching the object of his affection out there singing A Hot, Hot Night. The 3 dragon head suit that she has on, the armor looks so dope. It's like black dragon scales and gold dragon scales mixed together. And the dragon heads on either side of her are like shooting flames out of their mouths as she's sort of like rocking around the stage. And we all know that at the finale is that she goes on fire and just turns into this sort of like flaming dragon effigy, if you will. I'm just like
rebirth
waiting
of
for
the
that.
Phoenix,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Phoenix rebirth style. That's the second costume. That's the underlayer you didn't put on was the Phoenix layer.
that was the original costume
Right.
before she went
Before
with the
she wanted to be a
dragons.
dragon. Fucking. So Shakes is just on the side of the stage, just enjoying it, going, "Yeah, this song's so good." And he sees Crater over there, and he sidles over to him and he says, "Man, I told you we're gonna have sweet, sweet love tonight. It's gonna be fire hot, dragon fire hot."
Listen, I cannot stress enough that this is not a good idea. 1, you're very young, and it's too soon to be tied down to anyone. And 2, they're on a different strata than you.
Tie down, brother. You are joking me. I'm gonna have sex with Cindy, and then she's gonna put me in the band. I'm gonna be famous, and I'm gonna burn out.
I also am quite aware that I know they rib you about your long hair and call you lady, but I do know that you have a flexibility to you, and you have to embrace your flexibility.
Shakes is looking at Crater like what is this guy talking about? Is he hitting on me? I'm sort of like trying to figure it out for a second. And that's when Cindy's horrible, horrible scream shoots out over the entire arena as our failure, Tilt, a good plan
It's
comes.
like a high note.
It is
Yeah.
a high note, yeah. Boom, then her like basically, so we start hearing her frying, and I turn around and I again just rush her and throw myself on her
And your hair goes up.
exactly as I start to burn, as I start to fall to the ground with her. The music keeps going. Do 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 do.
And I look over at Styx, and you're just holding the suit.
What?
I'm like, fire team, go, go, go.
Cindy!
I grab I pick up a kid who's holding a fire extinguisher,
Yeah.
who's like not running fast enough, and like rush him out, and like
Fire! Yeah.
and the crowd is just clearing the stage, like
The balconies.
Yeah, the
balcony, whatever, the
mezzanine.
mezzanine, and the
Mezzanines,
whatever, the bit that goes around the stage and the curtains, or what they're already like catching on fire.
Yes, yeah, the fire spreads.
Oh man.
This is like flash. This is flashing back just before the show.
Yeah.
Jim gets a package delivered to another, like one of the band like management guys, like one of the arena like managers comes up, like a security type guy, and is like, "Oh hey, they brought a package over for care of the tour of the band. Are you Jim Flard?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Jim Flard. That would be me." And they hand him a box.
Here you go, sir.
And crack it open, and there's a towel that's like singed, and there are 2 objects wrapped inside it. Yes. And he lifts that out. Sighs. All right, here goes. And he walks out into the sun. He sees Styx kind of giving Shakes a hard time.
Yep.
And he walks over and clears his throat.
I'm telling you, I know the ribbon comes off and then the shadow power works. Or no, the ribbon stays on and the shadow power works. I'm just not sure. But that's okay. I'll figure it out.
Listen.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Styx and Shakes.
Is everything okay, Jim?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I just, I think maybe I had too many hot peppers on my sandwich.
Yeah, Shake said you're not going to be able to work mics tonight. Is that true?
I think he's ready for it. I think nothing will go wrong. I think everything will be fine. I think he'll be fine. He's a good kid.
That's my man, Crater.
I think it'll be all right.
All right. Are we ready for this? What's going on?
So, listen, there's something I've been meaning to tell you, and then it's gonna go back.
Yes,
Yeah.
it goes bad for you.
And that's when like your
Six is like, hey, Shakes, why don't you go on ahead and I'll catch up with you.
so, and in fact, like and then you get a call on your like walkie,
Mm.
and Shakes is like already like sprinting off in one direction, and you get this call on the walkie and rush off in the other direction, and I'm just kind of left there.
Mm.
And I like turn back to the trailer with my bundle of stuff and put it back in the box.
Sticks is just like watching all of this.
So we're back.
unfold.
We're back at the flaming singer.
She's still holding on like to this thing, like seeing you grab the kid, you like envelop Cindy, and she's got the underlayer of the burnt suit, and she goes running the other direction. Like
just books it.
she just like gets. I mean, everybody's clearing the place. It's like total mayhem.
Yep.
She grabs like whatever gear she can kind of grab and get out of there.
The most expensive microphones.
Yeah, just like whatever's like handy, just to get it like kind of out of harm's way. But mostly it's just like runs that burn suit sort of back to wardrobe, like throws it in there and just was like trying to get out of the building. She's just like super flustered, and she just runs like flat into Crater Jim.
Yep.
Like bumps into you. And it's just like, Jim, I totally fucked up. Like, fuck, we're never going to work again. Shit, Cindy's going to kick us off the tour. Fuck.
Cindy's not a going concern anymore. You need to run. You need to get out. And the fire is like spreading throughout the arena. And I'm just like,
Blue Water Arena is
I'm
on
trying
fire.
to, like, put out you and
The Blue Well.
Yeah, the Blue Water
The
Arena
Blue
is like
Well,
a
the
really
Blue Well
the
Arena.
Blue Well, yeah, is an old venue, and there are just blue velvet curtains everywhere that are just like totally up in flame. The pyrotechs are putting it out, but so Six is like, Jim, like fuck, and she's sort of like, I guess, running hand in hand with you, or are you like still staying behind to?
I'm trying to put out.
You're putting out the
Shakes.
fire. Cool. So like Styx kind of runs out and then sort of gets herself together, and she's like, "Oh, this is dumb. What am I doing?" And she runs back in to go find Cindy and make sure Cindy's all right. Just as she's about to go back in, she sees Shakes like kind of hauling her out of the backstage entrance towards the trailer. And Styx comes running up, sort of assesses the situation and realizes that like Shakes kind of got it under control, and Cindy doesn't. She's like, she kind of walks up and is like, oh, fuck it, never mind. I don't have anything to say, and sort of then like goes back to the trailer and goes inside, and it just starts like bawling her eyes out.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the final scene of our last act, our second act. So now we roll our dice, figure out what our results are, and we will then do our epilogues, our aftermath. Yes, exactly. I got a +4, a white 4, if you will, which is bitter. You know what it's like to be utterly crushed, casually brought low, forced to eat your own words, and stand mute and powerless before your enemies. They gloat, and you are helpless. Brutal.
All right, so I have a black 5. I have rough. You are getting whipped like a rented mule, for starters, and you will remember this episode for all your diminished days. The lesson you learn will be profound, lingering, and painful.
Okay, so what do I have? I have a +8. Nothing to crow about. Not better, but not way worse either. Maybe the car is wrecked, or your wife is leaving you, or there's a court date, but compared to some of the other people you know, ...
Cool. Then in my first scene, I am on the gurney. This is after the fire, the med techs have toned. Yeah, the adrenaline's toned down. There are paramedics here. Cindy's on a gurney. I'm on a gurney, but we're still holding hands, even though our skin is very badly burned.
And both of your
Yeah, both of our hair is just burned off. There's definitely the stench of burned human hair in the air.
The firefighters come up and are kind of like they finally get the fire burned. Like half the arena is caved in and burned down, and they're like, I just can't believe there weren't more bodies. this arena was full packed. What is going on? A crackle comes on the radio, and they're like, we found someone. They dig in and they pull away some like beams and ash, and there, where he had been holding up the door so the last people could get out, is a burned up but just barely breathing Crater Jim.
Oh, no.
That's a good one. That's the good thing that happens to him, is that he's alive. Very badly burned.
Styx is freaking out. She's contemplating why she ever decided to be a tech in the first place. This is no place for her. She belongs in a band playing drums. She would have never freaked out from a little fire and caused the whole entire venue to like collapse. And she's starting to kind of downward spiral right now.
Ooh, yeah. Oddly enough, Shakes is on the upward spiral. After months of reconstructive surgery from his settlement, from the Blue Well fiasco, Blue Well fire, if you will. He has reconstructive surgery, and so has Cindy and a new guitarist who goes by the name of Shades begin to tour together. As Shakes has changed his name, his image, and they have this mystique about them of surviving a fire. They're super hardcore, and they play this really goth metal.
Nice.
That's all about death.
So flashback to 25 years ago, and it's in the hospital, and a young Crater Jim is looking through the window at all the newborn babies, and he's just kind of got one arm up against the glass and is just staring. A woman comes up with long black hair and like pale skin, and kind of comes behind him and puts an arm on his shoulder, and he like melts against her a little bit, like this is a very welcome touch, and she goes, he's beautiful.
Fuck you, John.
You and Diane have done something beautiful. Is she going to take your name, or is she always going to be a McTavish?
Yeah, I thought Lauren was going to be the baby, not me. Nice, John.
And so, and his face goes dark with that.
Yeah, so Styx in the practice space with Shades and Cindy.
Nice, you're in
as
the band.
Drummer.
You're in the band.
Fate turns. No more drum teching. Has decided she wants, she needs to get back to playing music where she belongs. And sort of has turned this sort of situation around for herself, gotten herself in a good position. It's never sort of revealed to Cindy about exactly what had happened that night.
Indeed, because it does come up. It is odd that the three of us are together in a band. And what comes up after Cindy and Shades get into a real hardcore sort of heroin sort of groove where they're shooting up a lot, and they just get in these weird fights, like love-hate relationship. They make great music and make love, but they're in a really bad way. And Cindy starts to suspect and then finally believe that it was in fact Shades who caused her to be burned that night. And definitely Styx does not try and change her mind. In fact, she might even help her to think that a little bit. But what ends up happening is that Shades is kicked out of the band, and that's when Cindy and Styx, their star really starts to rise, is when Shades is kicked out of the band. And it's obvious that he was holding them back.
It is, it's 20 years before all this goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So Crater Jim is now 26.
Yep.
And he is having a throwdown fight with, like, you're outside the house, and it's like a throwdown, like knockout, like someone's throwing pans at him. You hear him going like, listen, baby, I gotta go. I got a show to do. I gotta go. I just gotta work. I gotta pay for my kids. I do. And that's when he kind of runs out of the place, like wearing putting on a black t-shirt, wearing his steel toe boots and denim, his standard roadie gear. As the woman comes out with her hair tied up, and it's like black. She's got pale skin, and she's got a little girl in her arms, who's just like
playing those drums,
hitting on her mom's arm and like bopping as she throws like another thing at him.
Yeah.
And she's like, I should have never, you're nothing, you're dirt. And he reaches his car, and his face turns dark.
as Styx and Cindy in their new band start to sort of rise in fame, Styx starts to, find herself feeling guilty about the whole situation. Something kind of comes up. Jim hasn't been on tour with them in a while. She realizes that she totally fucked up, with the suit thing, and and just starts having all these feelings like, well, this is, because, I, never knew my father. And, she, at this point, she doesn't know that Crater Jim is her dad. She, wants to find him. He hasn't worked on their tour in a while. And she sort of tries to convince Cindy that we need to get Crater Jim back on the next tour. And it's just not going well.
Not happening.
It's not
her.
happening.
Yeah.
Cindy's just not
She hates that
stoked
Crater
about it.
Jim.
She doesn't want to have anything to do at this point with anybody that was associated with the old tour. And she is really sticking to it that it was Shakes and Crater Jim that caused that fire to happen. And Styx is really just kind of just having a hard time shaking it off. The heroin is really kind of fucking with her, and she's has these sort of major bouts of depression.
Cool. For my last scene, for my aftermath, Johnny McTavish is also very interested to find Crater Jim. I think they do. I think he does find him. I don't know if he ever finds out that they're related, but he has this sort of simpatico relationship with him and always has.
He visits him in the home.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is years afterwards. Years after Johnny, it's after he left the band. He was never able to get into another band. He's sort of, really not so happy about that. He's been able to find work as a roadie here and there for the sort of lower tier bands. He is able to visit Crater in the home and tell him his stories now that he's as old as Crater was when they first met.
Old man Crater Jim. He's actually been living in a convalescent home for a long time.
Yeah.
Pretty much from the burn when he was healed enough, and it was a few years before they even let him out of a clean
trauma
room
ward.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So all of his possessions have been in storage, and he's just basically has lived in this home, assisted living, for 20, 25, 30 years almost. And he, his Social Security's kind of run low, medical bills, a couple of infections and complications. He's horribly burned, can only talk out the side of his mouth. And his storage locker expires. Someone bid, they bid out they auction off all of his stuff, and someone finds a box, and inside it is a towel with two things wrapped in it.
Yep.
He knows that they found this, and that it's time's up when two detectives come to the convalescent home.
Oh.
And they say, "Are you I forget what his last name
Fulham
was.
or something?
Are you Jim Fuller?"
Sounds about right.
And he goes, "That's me." "So you found it?" And they're like, "Yeah, we found it. We found them." "All right." They describe that they found these two teddy bears, one with sort of flaxen brownish gold hair, and one with made of hair. Teddy bears made of hair.
No! Oh, God!
And one with black hair.
Oh, God!
And the most disturbing part were the eyes. And they go, the cops say, "Are you going to admit what you did? Or are you just going to tell us?" And he just laughs and goes, "They have their mother's eyes, and so did I."
Oh, God!
I mean, something's going to go well here for Styx as she trucks along, and Cindy never finds out the truth. Styx finds out about Crater Jim passing away. Shakes, smoke, whatever.
Shakes.
Shade is shows up at the funeral, but is kind of off by a tree, and Styx kind of nods to him in the distance. He doesn't want to kind of get too close because Cindy's there, and she's sort of really trying to take center stage even at a funeral, which kind of makes Styx sort of super just kind of disgusted with the whole situation and disgusted
There's
with
paparazzi there because it's also
it's like rock and roll wedding.
And it's a murder funeral.
It's like murder, rock and roll funeral.
Yeah, this weird. There's all kinds of paparazzi and
everyone
crazy,
has a story about Crater Jim that they tell to the paparazzi.
Totally, all kinds of and there's all the other roadies that have ever been on the road with Crater Jim. Everyone
they
gets
do
up
the roadie
one at a time, and they like start telling like these stories about like being on the road. And Styx gets up there and starts to tell kind of one of her favorite Crater Jim tales. And she says, yeah, so, it was on our third tour. And we were all there. Shakes was there, Jim was there, Gif was there. Jiff and Jim were, really just at it like all the time. A crane like kind of was about to fall, and that we all thought that was going to be the end to Crater Jim. But Gif, just out of nowhere, pulled Jim out of there and saved his life. And from then on, Crater had our back, man. He had our back. And just how could this horrible thing, happen to such a good person? But he was able to live his life out and long and hopefully happy. Styx never knowing Jim was her father, never knowing who her mother was, or that her mother was brutally murdered by Crater.
Or that Shades is her half-brother. Kind of look alike now you think about it.
Yeah.
Huh. Like Crater Jim. Weird.
So with that, our story ends. We will return again with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho, and you can find our Instagram at board_ghost, and you can listen to my other podcast, New to You Show, at newtoyoushow.com. Ken, where can people find you?
Yay, everybody. You can find me at Burling's Beard all over the interwebs. BERLINGS Beard. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitch doing some sweet live streaming for Darkest Dungeon if you're into that video game, and D&D. So, yep, come say hi and hang out.
All right, and Lauren, where can people find you?
Hi, I'm Lauren Blanco at 20-Sided Store, TwentySidedStore.com, or 20-Sided Store on social media.
All right. And is there anything fun coming up? We're a couple weeks out of Free RPG Day.
Yeah, so we have a campaign, a level 1 campaign for D&D starting up on Wednesdays. We will have all kinds of great events throughout the weekend, cinema series.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Cinema series is great.
Yeah, we usually have DMs run games that are set in different movies to kind of help newer players get immersed in the role-playing games.
Cool.
So we do that once a month, so those will be really fun. So yeah, check out our calendar, see what we got coming up.
Sweet summer at the 20-Sided Store.
That's right.
All right, and besides playing games, you can buy your games at the 20-Sided Store. So
Definitely.
Support your friendly
That's where
local
I get
game
all my
store.
games.
Yeah, if you buy Fiasco at 20-Sided Store, you get the free PDF through Bits and Mortar, which is pretty cool. Yep.
And if you're flying into New York, it's one of the stores to hit.
Definitely.
Get
your
t-shirt
get
for
your
a
gaming
souvenir.
cred.
right.
Polish your gaming cred. Go to the 20-Sided Store.
Take the zip line from the top of the Statue of Liberty right to the
Exactly.
Yeah,
store.
we
Right
just got
to the
some
20-sided.
really new, sweet Nick Forker T-shirts that are super cool that everybody should check out.
Yeah, that illustration is really interesting. I love the cat with the wizard's hat on.
And the giant with the tiny little
Yeah, well,
magic
sure.
cards.
All right, so to learn more about the players and the engine in our story, visit boardghost.com. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at BoardGhostWorld on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Please leave reviews and comments on iTunes or your preferred listening portal, and take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
'Cause dying don't agree with me.